One of the real stories of the Battle of Fredericksburg was an opportunity for the 16th Maine Regiment, whose commander had fallen ill, and an obscure clerk from Castine by the name of Charlie Tilden was named lieutenant colonel and put in charge of the 16th Maine. The 16th Maine had left Washington the first week in September, shortly, maybe days after they had arrived from Maine, and they were told, leave everything, we'll catch up with you later, but you're to join the Union Army in pursuit of Robert E. Lee. So for all of September, the entirety of October, and the first 4 weeks of November, the 16th Maine was tagging along with the Union Army, but they didn't have tents, they didn't have ponchos, they didn't have a change of clothes. They were derided by their fellow Union soldiers as the Blanket Brigade. And it was an abnormally cold and damp autumn in Virginia, and guys started to drop. They were not being shot. They were being overcome by the flu, by pneumonia. They were dying in dozens. Over 300 men were disabled or killed by disease in the first 2.5 months that the 16th Maine is pursuing the Confederate Army. By the time their gear catches up with them, they're on their way to Fredericksburg. It's Thanksgiving, and these guys actually have a reason for giving thanks. It's the first change of underwear they've had in 11 weeks. It's the first change of clothing they've had at all. It's the first opportunity to erect a tent. These guys have been living on the ground in the cold, in the rain, in the snow. By the time they get to Fredericksburg, weather had warmed up a little bit. It was in the low 50s. Still not, really comfortable, but at least with the wool that they had and now with the blankets and the tents, they could move in somewhat more comfortable fashion. Their first battle, really straight-on battle, is the Battle of Fredericksburg. And they're on the left side of the Union Army. They're working under the command of General William Franklin. Franklin was a McClellan guy. He wasn't a Burnside guy. And he and Burnside didn't like each other. The communication between the two generals did not flow smoothly. The delay had taken everybody's sense of humor out of this thing. And through mixed messages, Franklin didn't get across the river fast enough, things didn't happen. And nevertheless, he was told to attack. They were going to attack the right side of the Confederate line. It wasn't as steep or as high as Marye's Heights, and if they could occupy the right side of the Confederate line, Burnside could send the other group up on the right side of the Union line and maybe catch the Confederates by surprise and in a weakened position. One of the generals serving under Franklin at the time was George Gordon Meade, and Meade's group included the 16th Maine. The 16th Maine participated in the attack. It was their first frontal attack, actually their first action. And Tilden sent them ahead, and they had units on both sides of them from New York, New Jersey, drop away, veteran groups who said, this is nuts. And what happened was the 16th Maine became the point of the spear. They made the Confederate line. They were into the breastworks. They were into the trenches of the Confederates. They were capturing men, flags, artillery. They were moving. The unfortunate thing was they had nobody behind them and nobody beside them. They had gone as far as they could go, and when they were told to turn around and come back, they were faced with this awful dilemma. They could stay and be sacrificed, or they could retreat and be shot at as the only targets. Nevertheless, they said, well, the order is to retreat. So the 16th Maine had to retreat. At the end of the battle, which the Union Army lost, Burnside recognized it. And he is quoted afterwards as saying, if there's any glory in this battle, it belongs to the men from Maine.